Welcome everybody. In today's video we will be taking a look at the Gerber ARMBAR SLIM. This is a little thing I picked up at Academy Sporting Goods a few weeks ago. Interesting little tool. I don't know if I'm going to carry it that much, but let's get into it. First off, the one little hidden feature is that we have the little can opener, cap lifter bit. I know this isn't a proper cap, but you get the idea. Just pops the caps right off. It just kind of like hides and tucks in to the side there. I mean, given the way things are, like, it's just hollow space right there, even with the screwdriver bit in there. Even if you flip it around to the Phillips and stuff, they could have made this a little bit fatter and made that a little bit of a flathead or something. I don't know. Missed opportunity, but that is a tool on their list. Do what you will. Got the lanyard ring on here, which honestly you could probably do without, but they got it here. But here's the two main tools on it, and this is what, you know, to me is really core to a lot of EDC, and that is knife and screw driving, basically. And on this we have a very large knife blade, comparing that to something like a Swiss Army knife for comparison. This is just a normal 91 millimeter Swiss Army knife. This is the Deluxe Tinker, but the blade is definitely a little bit longer on the Gerber than it is on the Victorinox. Just a little bit, but it is longer. So you're getting about a Victorinox sized blade with the Gerber, and you get that drop point sheep's footy blade. It makes scoring through cardboard really nice and easy. The edge is going to hold up fairly well. It's a locking blade, so this is not UK friendly, but it is secure nonetheless. And on the other side, the namesake armbar, so to speak, we have the screwdriver. And what I like about the screwdriver right off the bat, unlike some multi-tool, bit holders and stuff where they angle the tip, where you cannot use this as a 1/4 inch nut driver, you can actually use this as a 1/4 inch nut driver. It is perfectly perpendicular to the center of axis that you'd be twisting nuts and bolts with, making it perfect for 1/4 inch nuts. It's kind of a deep set socket almost, given the way it is that it's made. So I really like to see that, because a lot of these, and I'm sure you've seen them, you know, that tip of that pry bit is usually angled a bit, and it baffles me as to why they do it, but it just hinders the potential ability of this. Now it comes with this little double-sided bit, and I think, judging from the looks of it, the Weehaw double-sided bits would be perfect as an extension bit kit for this tool. But it is held in magnetically, goes in quite well, holds quite well, like not a lot of rattle. There's a little bit of rattle, but it just goes right in, locks in, stays put. Great little little magnet down there. Just, it's not like a ball detent or anything. Just pops right in, stays in, and is pretty secure. This does not lock, so there is the ability to just like pop it if you're not careful, but you know, you're not usually not doing too much pressure on small multi-tool screwdrivers anyway. So, but like this tool right here, you could pretty much just change out a wall outlet. Go to your light switch on your wall and change out that light switch if you had to. Turn off the electricity before you do so. Don't get hurt. But like, you know, the Phillips and the flathead on this pretty much gives you everything you need to work on your outlet. You know, your switch burns out, just you're not cutting new wires or anything, but you're just unscrewing and rescrewing the stuff in. Like, that's kind of how I judge multi-tools, is could I change a wall socket or an outlet with it? Because that's going to be one of your more common home repairs that you don't need like dedicated tools for. Like if your toilet breaks, you're busting out the big boy tools for that. If your kitchen sink breaks, you're probably using the big boy tools for that. Your door falls off, well, you're probably getting the big boy tools. But you know, accessing battery cases for clocks, you know, wall switches and all that stuff, this is the core minimum of what you would need. A Phillips and a flat, number 1 Phillips, or number 2 Phillips and whatever the flat is, a knife blade to access the package that the new stuff comes in, and you're pretty much set to go. Like, this is a minimalist DIY toolbox. Like, super, super minimal. Now, I still would much rather carry a Swiss Army knife. Like, I get more variants of tools, and especially with the Deluxe Tinker, I get the small pliers, which is good for reaching in, grabbing stuff. Works quite well on small nuts and whatnot. And I get 2 knife blades on this, one for heavy duty tasks, one for fine tune, need a sharper blade tasks. Just more stuff to go on here, a couple different size flatheads to work with. Like, I do feel like the Swiss Army knife is still more useful for a similarly sized package. The Swiss Army knife is bulkier, but given how you can carry it and stuff, you know, pouches or this little dangler thing that clips to your pocket, I feel like the ARMBAR, at least the Slim, now I know that they got the bigger ones with the scissors and a little bit more in there, and the scissors could really amp up everything. Like, this thing has scissors. Like, I can't go without scissors, you know, like, I gotta have scissors. You know, the ARMBAR, this is the only one they had at Academy. I would have bought the scissors one if they had it, but this is the only ARMBAR they had. You know, like, this, just being able to do 2 different bits, do the socket, and a knife blade, like, that just amplifies everything tenfold on what you can do for how little this has. Now, I will say this, when it comes to 1/4-inch bits, if you go and buy the normal 1/4-inch bits like this, just a standard 1/4-inch bit, and you drop it down in there, it sits really low inside the tool, and it is a little bit of a bugger to pull out. Now, this is like a number 3 Phillips, so I can grab that, but if you get, you know, a normal bit like this with the flathead on it, there's not much to grab to pull out. So you do got to keep that in mind. Then I can do like a 1/4-inch Allen wrench by flipping a normal bit backwards. That's a fun little trick. But yeah, that's something to take note of. It might be best to stick with double-sided bits where they stick out just a little bit farther based on how they are designed, because if you do normal one-sided bits, depending on the ones you use, they may sit down too low and not be able to be pulled out without a secondary tool. So keep that in mind. But I do think the Weehaw double-sided bits would be a good extension set for this. So that has been the Gerber ARMBAR Slim. I think this has a lot of potential for being a plierless multi-tool. I still prefer carrying a pliers-based multi-tool. The one I've pretty much carried almost non-stop lately has been the Victorinox Swiss Tool Spirit MX Clip. Wonderful tool, delightful. I absolutely love this thing. This goes with me almost everywhere. But for those that don't really have a lot of use for the large plier heads of full-size multi-tools and just want like a little bit of utility and functionality, the ARMBAR series, I think, has potential. Go check them out, because there's a couple different versions out there. I think this has potential. So with that said, thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, consider hitting the like and subscribe and all that, yada yada yada. Please consider following me on Instagram for the occasional behind-the-scenes post about upcoming videos, ramble posts, and whatnot. So, JSBR _ EDC over on Instagram. So, thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. And until the next time, farewell, carry well, and bye-bye.